Good evening and welcome. Nah, but what's up? It is a nighttime session, and I wanted to jump on because I've been having these inspired thoughts, just really thinking about what the heck the spiritual path even is. You see it all over the place of people really diving into spirituality, whether it's yoga or Hinduism or Buddhism, people doing meditations, all of these different things. It's like there's so many different ways to follow a spiritual path. And so it got me thinking, like, what the heck does spirituality mean to me? Because we all really just have a strong opinion on it, right? That's all facts are, like extremely strong opinions. We believe they're true. And so my strong opinion on spirituality to me is, you know, first off that it's something that's so absolutely incredibly potent to the growth of yourself. It is that just so transformative. Okay, that's the first thing because I just look back on myself and that's all the spiritual path has done is transform me into really a version of myself I've always wanted to be, but really didn't think I could ever get to. But to actually put an actual definition to it, the spiritual path is a continuous choice to follow truth, essentially to uncover the true essence of yourself, to figure out who the heck you are and how the heck to do this whole thing called life, and even to figure out what the heck life is. And so you can do that in so many ways. That's the thing. Is like, okay, you get a monk who meditates all the time or whatever and stuff. And what are they doing? They're going outside of their humanness to figure out what this all is. They're meditating to such an extent, finding that stillness to such an extent that you essentially go into the formless, right? And the formless is the embodiment of spirit. It is the energy that permeates through everything. And so I think that that's really where we're all trying to get to. We, it's almost like we're trying to return home, right? We're trying to get back to this pure feeling of feeling at home, safe, in this abundant amount of love. And so we go through we go through our lives in a way that it's like we're searching for something that makes us feel filled, makes us feel like we are doing a good job almost, or maybe it's more that you are connected with purpose. I think is really what I want to say. And the reason I say that is because without purpose, what happens? You're lost, right? And so purpose is like trying to find out why you're here. And that's the whole thing. So spirituality is diving into finding out who you are, finding out why you're here. And in the process of doing that, you learn how to become a better version of yourself, which is amazing. I mean, think about that. I I see so much in the spiritual practice how much you fall in alignment with nature, with the universal natural laws, you know, the the ebb and flow, the mental laws, the manifestation, all these different things you slowly uncover because you're finding yourself more in tune with the laws of the universe. Like for me, yeah, I read a handful of books, but truthfully, so many of the things that I experienced were just like intuitive downloads that all of a sudden I was like, aha, that makes sense. Okay, there you go. It wasn't like I was studying, I was working to calm my nervous system and contemplating existence. And the combination of those two things allowed for me to like really figure some shit out. At least I think. And I live in a way that I am absolutely interconnected with spirit every day, all day long, every second of the day. It never ends. It never stops. It never starts. And it's just like I feel spirit throughout me. I am spirit. Spirit is me, but I'm not God, obviously. God is so powerful. We can't do anything to try to even compare ourselves to that. And so it's like the spiritual path is figuring out what is true behind the illusions. Behind and the illusions include this physical reality, right? You have to have one foot in the form, one foot in the formless per se, where you dance in this physical reality but also know that you're outside of it too. And gosh, that's a paradox to really wrap around because it's not easy. It's really not easy. It creates this paradoxical life where you're happy and sad at once, you're spiritual and egotistical at once, you're all these forms of duality because what is duality if not the makeup of this human existence? Hot and cold, good, bad, yes, no, yin yang, all these things. They make up this human existence. And so that's why in the Buddhist, practice, it's the middle path because it's not the pendulum swinging to the left, it's not the pendulum swinging to the right, it's falling right in between the two. The way is easy for a person with no opinion, that type of thing. You're not getting pulled one direction or the other. And I think that the spiritual path is something that also leads you to that middle ground. It brings you to a place where you're just like, it's happening, but I'm not absorbed in it. I'm just witnessing it all because it's just the play of God taking place in front of us. I'm just an actor. Sometimes when you're born and everything, all this stuff, you get caught up with being the actor of the actor, if that even makes sense. I was really an engineer, and you get caught up in that role, right? But little do you realize that you're not actually an engineer, you're a human being that does engineering stuff. And then behind the human being, you're a spirit. And then even behind the spirit, you're just energy. So it's like to have your foot in all these different perceptual doorways is difficult on the nervous system, especially one that's filled with trauma. And so that's where the healing of the nervous system really comes into play. And it is a crazy path because let's be real, the spiritual journey also breaks every bit of reality that you had programmed yourself to believe was real. And it turns it inside out. And then all of a sudden, before you know it, nothing that you thought was real is real at all because it's not. I mean, gosh, I dance with the universe every day now. It works with me. We are collaborating. I'm not along for the ride. Well, I was gonna say we ride each other, but that's a little weird. But you know what I'm saying. You know, I take and give, and it gives and takes, and there's a balance. Because there is no good or bad. It's giving me lessons, and I am improving myself off of them, and actually starting to come to a place where I can almost predict the next lessons that are coming because I understand how it works so much now. It's kind of it's kind of freaking crazy, honestly. It blows my mind every day. It just doesn't make sense. And so anyway, so I've gone off on a tangent, but yeah, the spiritual path, it is something that saved my life. I would not be here today if I hadn't started it. And I sure wouldn't be in this prosperous state that I'm in if I hadn't started it. Because abundance to me now is not just money. Abundance is life. It is existence. It is everything that takes place all around. It's incredible. It really is incredible. And so, yeah, I mean, if there's one piece of advice that I can give anyone, it's to not take the idea of spirituality as this hoopla crap or as this like I don't know, like weird thing because spirituality to me deep down is you learning how to be a human and understanding why the heck you're a human and all of those things to be authentic. So you can move into authenticity. What's better than that? Not much. The only thing that I align myself with now is more and more authenticity. It's the only thing that I practice is I am just trying to feel in my body the vibrational alignment with my authentic self and trying to let go into that because it's hard. We build up walls and we don't want to tear them down. At least it's not as easy as just saying, I'm tearing them down and they fall. You got to work at it, one brick at a time. And so all of these things make up the spiritual path, and there's a million ways to get there. A saying that I've always said is that all paths lead you home because it's true. It's whatever you want to follow, whatever your beliefs are, they lead you to the place you want to be if you set your mind on it. So whether it's Hinduism, it's Buddhism, it's atheists, I don't even know. I didn't even say that right. But you know what I'm saying? Like every religion, which is a different thing, but every religion is, the same thing. We all follow a higher being to bring us to a place of, well, where we belong. You ever notice that? And so right now we belong here as humans. That's what I think. The spiritual path allows for us to dance in both worlds so that we can cherish this human existence as much as possible. Truthfully. It makes this human existence feel purposeful instead of feeling like it's something filled with dread and suffering only because it's so much more than that. And once you dial it in, once you figure it all out, then like I said, you dance with the universe and you can make this life anything you want. Let's be real. We all deserve to make this life whatever it is we want with good intentions in our heart because that's the only way you get it is by actually being pure. And so, I don't know. Let's talk more. This is where I'm at. Where are you? I'd really love to hear from you. I'm excited to be here all together. And, it's like my second video, and it really doesn't. I'm just hanging out. That's all I can say. I'm just hanging out to hang out. And so let's connect. Let's collaborate. Let's come in union. Let's live together and be together and experience this existence together. I love you. I'll see you soon.